What's up, everybody? It's Bear with BearIndependent.com, and today we're going to talk about some cool stuff for side-by-sides, four-wheel drive vehicles, and in general, off-road. Stick with me. All right, so we're back here at one of our ranges on the property, and this range I built with a couple of brothers and a skid steer and some steel chainsaws and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and I love it back here. It's oftentimes we ruck back here with our equipment because it's good PT, but it's nice to be able to throw your stuff in the side-by-side and come back here. Now, full disclosure, this is not mine. This is on loan from a brother and sister who are moving from one property to another property right now. And they said, hey, Bear, do you mind if we leave our Honda Pioneer 700 4x4 at your place, 2021 version, brandy new, for you to play with while we wait for our land to close? And I was like, wow, that sounds terrible. I guess that'll be okay. They're like, you can use it for whatever you want. Okay. I guess that'll be all right. Yeah, of course, bless you. So, not mine, and I don't have a lot of experience with this particular vehicle, but gosh dang, do I love it. Just the convenience of these things. I totally understand why people will throw a lot of money at these. That being said, there are better and worse vehicles, and there are more expensive and less expensive vehicles. But I like this one a lot. It does a good job. The four-wheel is very good on it. It's got locking differentials. Good to go. Homemade gummy bears. Now, this video is not intended to be a parade of gear whorism. However, some things to consider, if or at least things that I like to have along for the ride with me as I'm out here doing these things. Your mileage may vary while where you are at. Okay, because I live in a free state on my own land, and I get to do whatever the hell I want to do. Depending on where you live and where you're bringing your vehicle, you may or may not be able to do what I do. So the first thing I like a lot are these little $20 binos. I got them off of the Amazons, and I'll do my best to remember to put a link either in the description or the comments, but they're 20 bucks. And at first I was like, there's no way a decent set of 12 power binos, 12 by 25, there's no way they're 20 bucks. So I got a set. I'm now the proud owner of, I don't know, a half a dozen sets. I've bought one or two each pay cycle and put them in different kits that I have. And I like having one set around because out here, I can go from being so tight in that my longest shot, my field of view is 10 yards, 15, 30 yards maybe, to over in the hayfields, hundreds of yards. And positive identification, PID, it's nice to be able to flip your binos up. This is why I like a low power variable optic on my rifles, because PID, positive identification, if I need to flip that thing up to 8 power to know what I'm looking at, I can do that versus something like a holographic sight like an EOTech or a dot sight. Well, what about a 3X magnifier? Sure, certainly better than nothing, but when you add the cost of an EOTech and a magnifier together, get an LPVO and have a 1:8 instead of a 1:2, a 1x or a 3x. Anyway. And sometimes you don't want to be pointing a rifle at the thing you're trying to identify because it could be your neighbor. So I like these little binos for that. They're very handy for that. And they're like 20 doll hairs. Next, if we look in here, I've got a rifle I've got a Minuteman bag from Sojourn Gear, and I've got a pair of muffs on the rifle. Those are the Howard Light, flip the switch, and it will take out all the loud bad noises and keep all the low volume good noises, which is cool. And so as an SOP for me, when I have a truck gun or a side-by-side rifle or whatever I'm doing, I'll just throw a pair of muffs on there so that if I have to use that thing, I've got the hearing protection with me. Can I dump a magazine or two without earmuffs? For sure. Do I want to? Not particularly. So I'll do that. I'll tell you what. I'll set the tripod down and we'll have a little bit more of an in-depth discussion here. So we're going to talk about some of this stuff as well. Stand by. All right. Badoo. It's probably worth noting as well. You can see down here underneath is a ball hitch that I put on there as well. It's a 1 7/8, 2 inch, 2 5/16, as well as a recovery hook. Why that particular hitch? Because that's the one that I had laying around. But having a hitch on the back of these things is good, A, for towing trailers, B, for recovery. It gives you something to latch a chain or a rope onto. Now, the rifle, I know many people are interested, so we're going to briefly go over it. Magpul Furniture 20 round, Magpul PMag. The reason for that is I sort my ammunition, specialty ammos in 20 round magazines, and this is 55 grain Fiocchi ballistic tip. It just makes a mess of soft targets like coyotes or whatever. So then the muffs, like I said, got it's old school key mod back in the day. It's got an Olight Odin XLR2 Leaf Rock PL Valkyrie Thor Odin Super Max something flashlight on it. M-Bus backup sights, a Ravage Arms muzzle brake that I love, a cheap ass sling that I should probably fix at some point. That thing's been on there for half a year, no issues. You flip the camera on and it pops off again. Cool. And then a Primary Arms 1-8. I'm a big fan of it, and it's a Spec Ops Manufacturing upper and a Runner Guns McKinney Texas lower with a 3-pound flat-faced trigger in it, and I love it. That's like my go-to rifle right there for doing the things around the homestead. Now, with this, I carry this, and this is the Minuteman bag from Sojourn Gear. Those of y'all who are familiar with the Bearfac may notice that it looks like a much larger Bearfac. It's that same style of clamshell top, webbing on the side, grommet in the bottom for water drainage, same materials, made by Sojourn, SEWJOURN Gear, our brother Cody at Sojourn Gear, and you can find these at sojourngear.com. I've just put a staged Cat TQ on the side right here. And what's cool about this thing is that it's designed for doing the things. So it's got a pocket right here that's sized to hold a Nalgene bottle, a 1-quart Nalgene bottle, or a canteen, which is cool. I've got 2 water bottles stuffed in here. It's got, I've got some bug spray in here, as well as some gun lube in here for the things. And I've got a bunch of foamies in here because it seems no matter what, I'm the only person with ear pro. So I've got some foamies in here. It has an additional strap that comes with it that if you want to hang this like a messenger bag and wrap the additional strap around you to retain it to your body, you can do that. Your mileage may vary depending on what your body looks like. Then it has 3 magazine pockets in the back here. It'll hold AR or AK mags, which is cool. I've got this set up, 330 round mags here for the AR platform. Red handle, look familiar. Pop this out, and then this has a little blowout kit in it, again from Sojourn. You can put whatever you want in this, But I've got another cat decompression needle, a fold flat bandage here, a Sharpie, combat gauze, gloves, compressed gauze. This is your wound packing module right here. And then you got your tourniquet here, decompression needle. And then in the back, I've got some compact chest seals right there and a nasal pharyngeal airway. So, you know, you've got massive bleeding, airway, and respiratory, head injury, hypothermia, circulation, everything else, not so much. But for gunshot wounds or major lacerations or something like that, you've got that covered, at least with what I've got put in here. You can put whatever you want to inside of here. But it's a pretty slick little kit that is kind of like my, hey, I'm grabbing a rifle, I should have the rifle things to go with a rifle kit, the Minuteman bag. You know, if you had to bust out of your door at 2 o'clock in the morning to go deal with a problem, you know, it's got this little thing right here as well, little pull cord. It's a cool pouch for that. Good buckle and everything. It's got a loop field here so you can affix patches to it if you want. I'm a big fan of it for that. And it's reasonably priced, made in America, made by Brother Cody at Sojourn Gear. You know, padded strap, which is adjustable. It's got metal. This is metal right here. So I like this a lot. And so when I'm doing grab the rifle things, this is a grab the rifle and this Minuteman bag. These two things go together. Big fan. So I've also got this hanging up here. This is a Cub Kit in a rip away pouch from refugemedical.com. And if we have a problem, I got a Cub Kit right here. Again, I got another tourniquet on the side. I got shears, and then all the stuff that's in this mammer jammer, you know, SWAT tee, compressed gauze, a flat trauma bandage, 5x9s, duct tape, gloves, Sharpie, quick clot, rolled gauze, an airway, chest seals that are back here, all that in this cute little rip away pouch that, you know, a lot of people roll their side-by-sides and they can suffer grievous injuries because of that. And how do I know this? Well, we work with, we meaning Refuge Medical, Refuge Training, work with several fire departments that are in rural areas. And one of their #1 calls is people who have rolled side-by-sides, who are pinned or have had a limb severely damaged or mechanically separated. Is pretty bad. So having some bleeding control on your side-by-side, probably a good idea. Basic stuff. I got a case of water back here and a piece of rope. If this was my side-by-side, I would have a winch on the front of it as well. I'm sure they will do that. The owners will do that at some point, but it's not my side-by-side, so I haven't put a winch on it. This also has extra seats that'll fold up in the back, currently set up for hauling stuff around mode. I keep an old rag on the front seat, mostly for when it's cool in the mornings and there's dew on the seat and dew on the windscreen, that I can wipe it down, and it's nothing special, but it's nice to have. I should add, when you're putting medical stuff in your vehicle, whatever vehicle it may be, if you have an emergency use kit, a rip-away kit, whatever it is, hang it above the dashboard. We have this rip-away kit up here. A lot of people put bare facts, put their Cub Kits, put the bare minimum up on the, well, they either on the back of the headrest, like back here in their vehicle, which is cool, or hang it up here, whether this is your car, your truck, or your side-by-side. The reason for that is in many, many wrecks, people become what's called impinged, meaning that their legs are stuck. Well, if your kit is below the dashboard level, your kit is also impinged and you can't get at it. And so if you can keep it up top where your hands can still get at it, good to go. I also, as an SOP in my vehicles up here on the sun visors, I'll put a tourniquet on each one. And I put orange tourniquets there, not necessarily for self-use, but I put them there that if I'm responding to an accident, which happens, especially when you live rurally, EMS is oftentimes not the first responders. They're oftentimes the last people to get on site, whether it's the police, firefighters, ambulance corps, whatever. I can say to somebody, run to my truck and get the orange thing off the visor. They don't have to know what a tourniquet is. They just see the orange thing, grab the orange thing, and come back. But all that, again, is above the line of the dash, so that if there's impingement issues, I can still get at my kits. And this happens more often than you think. Motor vehicle accidents are the #1 cause for traumatic bleeding, right, in the United States of America. It's a big deal. Statistically, the most dangerous thing you're going to do today is drive. All right, since I know you're going to ask, what are these two kits? This one, that one. Well, this one says crash kit on it, so it's pretty self-explanatory. We'll touch on that in a minute. This is the adventure kit. This is the kit that Wrangler Star was ranting and raving about. We love this kit. It's a trifold bag. You got shears here. You got a Sharpie here. In this pocket, we've got, let me scoot that back. We've got a SAM splint, we've got steri strips, we've got all your over-the-counter medicines and your little wipes and doodads right here. We've got duct tape because it sticks to everything, including blood, sweat, and tears. There's surgical tape down in there. A couple sets of North American Rescue Bear Claw gloves, and like the vast majority of the contents in here come from North American Rescue. Got more OTC meds, Advil, the whole nine. You've got your boo-boos, you got band-aids, knuckle bandages, stuff like that in here, in this pocket. Whoa, gloves, simmer down. Then in this pocket, we've got an advanced surgical kit. So this has got rolled gauze, tape, povidone iodine wipes. It's got a sterile drape. It's got sutures in it. There's a stack of sutures right there. It's got instrumentation. It's got gauze, you know, small gauze, medium gauze, large gauze, all inside of here. So that's pretty cool. Again, if you're like out in the wilderness and something bad happens, so you got wound treatment, wound closure, broken bones, boo-boos, headaches. And then back here, we've got a tourniquet. This should be staged. I'm going to show you how to stage one of these real quick. We send these new in the wrapper so you know you're getting a new tourniquet, but you should always take them out of the packaging like so. Here's how you stage a tourniquet. Pull this out, take this red tab and fold it over like so. You're going to pull about 8-10 inches of the tail out like that. Fold up at the bottom buckle, fold down here. Take your windlass, stick it in one side, take your time tab, and cant it at a 45-degree angle. Now, if I need to grab this, I can grab it, shake it out, and I got a loop ready to go. I don't need fine motor skills to grab this tab because it's canted at a 45-degree angle, and I don't need fine motor skills to grab this end to cinch it down. Not that I would put it here. Tourniquets go high and tight. I'm just showing you, but I don't need fine motor skills to grab this little red tab. Made it much larger by staging it like so. So, one about 8-10 inches hanging down here. Then again, fold up at the bottom buckle, fold down at the top. Boom, staged tourniquet. So, cat tourniquet, North American Rescue 6-inch emergency trauma dressing, a gauze pack, 2x2s, 4x4s, so forth and so on. Then a much larger module here. We've got splinter out, cohesive bandages, emergency blanket, triangle bandage, stretch gauze, compressed gauze, decompression needle, fold flat duct tape, tri-oral rehydration salts for somebody's dehydrated, Benadryl, loperamide hydrochloride tablets. These are anti-diarrheals. If you got the poos, that'll help you fix that. We've got chest seals here. The whole contents of a bear fac are in here as well. So your March algorithm, massive bleeding, airway and respiratory, circulation, head injury, hypothermia is all inside of there. So the adventure kit is designed for bullet holes, boo-boos, broken bones. Good to go. And all that fits inside this little trifold bag like so. And it's a great kit, relatively affordable considering everything that's in it. Folds up nice and tight, compact, and good to go, like so. It does have molly on the back of it. It's got metal. You can hear it. Got metal. It's got molly on the back. It's a good little kit right here. So for off-roading, adventuring, that's a decent kit worth having. And then the crash kit. The crash kit was designed in combination with a buddy of ours. What's up, Devin? Who is a legitimate Baja racer. Like, they race their vehicles in the desert at up to 140 miles an hour for up to 1,000 miles at a time. And when injuries and wrecks happen in that environment, there's no first responders at all. And he said, I need a kit that's waterproof, dustproof, and comprehensive, that's relatively compact, relatively lightweight, that I can fit in one of our trucks and that I can outfit all of our trucks with. So they run these in their actual racing trucks, and then they run stomp bags in their tail trucks, that if something bad happens, they've got even more capability with the stomp bag. But one of these is in every one of their trucks. And we got to thinking, you know, this is an applicable kit to anybody who's operating off-road, not just Baja racers, thus the crash kit. It's in a Pelican, legit Pelican 1500 case, not a knockoff. It's an actual Pelican case. Pop this open, like so. Open it up. You've got, along the back here, you've got your strap cutter, seatbelt cutter, shears, a Sharpie. We've got Band-Aids and steri strips here. These are smelling salts. You've got your triple antibiotic and your hydrocortisone cream, anti-itch cream, OTC meds. We've got a cervical collar here. We've got cold packs. You've got the another advanced surgical kit here, like I showed you before, with all the sutures, wound closure, all of that. You've got a bear fac, and the cool thing with the bear fac that comes with these, you know, again, handmade, made in America, guaranteed forever. It's got these lashing points on it, on this particular one. This style of bear fac that comes with this crash kit, so you can zip tie or bungee cord or paracord this onto stuff because of these extra tabs here. And then also in this kit, these kits have been vacuum sealed. And so your chest seal, your 5x9s, your nasopharyngeal airway has been vacuum sealed in here against dust and water intrusion. You've got your cat tourniquet, 6-inch trauma dressing, and then you've got the bottom stack down here, also been vacuum sealed. Your quick clot, survival blanket, compressed gauze, Sharpie, gauze sponges, everything else that would normally be in a bear fac. It's the same exact contents, but they've all been vacuum sealed against potential water intrusion. And the idea for this with their racing vehicles is they hang this again in their vehicle where the driver or the passenger can get at it. And it's all been waterproof, dustproof. They were buying these cheap ass kits that were lasting them like one race and had no capability. And this way, because it's waterproof, dustproof, they don't have to replace their kit after every race. It also has, this particular bear fac pouch has a rigid insert in the back of it. And you can literally pull this down and run screws through this to the back of a headrest or something to screw it into a headrest. And you can see it's got a extra pocket back here with a phenolonic plastic insert to rigid it up, which is pretty damn cool. I like this crash kit fac a lot. Back to what's in the Pelican case. You've got eye pads, you've got burn dressings. That's a common thing in a wreck. So there's some small, medium, and large burn dressings right here. A whole bunch of oral rehydration salts, because remember, these guys are operating in the desert. We've got eye pads, eye patches, SWAT tees, compressed gauze, trauma dressings, combat gauze. You got your pharmacy here, more of the Benadryl, anti-diarrheals, whole mess of gloves, povidone iodine, fold flat, duct tape, 2-inch and 1-inch surgical tape. You've got a SAM splint here, Remember, you've also got that cervical collar that's laying on top. And then you've got a North American Rescue quick litter in here as well, that if you've got to move a casualty, you can, I mean, one person, if you can get the casualty to lay on this, you can at least grab the handles and drag them. But a litter, any type of litter, greatly aids in the moving of a casualty. So that's what's in the crash kit. I'll put this thing all back together, a question mark. We have people, what's up, Hunter Seeker, who are much better at putting this stuff together than I am, believe it or not. That's their job and they're damn good at it, versus me that just kind of sticks things in here and is like, I think this will fit in there like this with that thing and the, yeah. Please do make for you a nice kit of aid for first. Stand by. Lastly, what I would add, if this was my vehicle, my personal vehicle, I would add a fire extinguisher for sure. You know, probably like a 4-pound ABC fire extinguisher, just to have one of those on the vehicle. And I would add a radio. Maybe this would be a handheld with a better antenna mounted to the roof, or maybe it'd be a small 25 watt or 12 volt radio, whatever. But I would definitely add a fire extinguisher and a radio. The reason for this is we have an SOP that all vehicles will have a fire extinguisher, a first aid kit, and a radio. And there are multiple preparedness reasons why I want to have all of these things available. But predominantly speaking, again, driving is the most dangerous thing that we do. And it's the little disasters that affect us more often than the big ones. You know, as somebody who has had a 7-figure catastrophic fire loss, having a $25, $50 fire extinguisher around to prevent the loss of 7 figures worth of business inventory and real estate and blah, blah, blah is worth having around. So, and you don't want to ever have to deal with people who are burning up in a vehicle. So if the vehicle's on fire and there's a way to put it out, have a fire extinguisher. And then radio is commo for basic things like, hey, I'm back at the range, we're convoying and all right, moving left or whatever. So basics, right? As an SOP, all of our vehicles have a fire extinguisher, a first aid kit, and a radio in them. So I would do that in addition to mounting a bumper winch and in addition to maybe a couple other things. But this Honda is a great little machine. I really like it. I have no idea what it costs because it's not mine, and I'm afraid to look because I'm pretty damn certain I can't afford one. But whatever. I'm interested in your comments down below. What would you add to this loadout to round it out in addition to the things that I discussed? What have I missed? Because I'm no expert when it comes to the side-by-side world or the 4x4 world or the Baja racing trucks. Or let me know down in the comments. And that's why I really enjoy working with Devin and people like that to do custom kitting, because we at Refuge Medical get to learn. What do you need? And then we'll put that kit together for you. We know the medical stuff. We know the equipment and we know the training to be able to use that. We don't necessarily know the particulars of your application. And so it's cool to get to do custom kitting with people to come up with things like the crash kit and BT dubs. All these kits featured here, the Cub Kit, the Bear Fac, the Crash Kit, the Adventure Kit, they're all available at refugemedical.com. You can use promo code BEARNATION for free shipping. I appreciate y'all, and I hope you have a blessed day. Shalom.